culture pastor.
And so, if people haven't been to our Facebook page yet or our Twitter page, they haven't seen your cosplay as AC Slater, which you really should. If you haven't, you should go to our Facebook page just to see the cosplay that Cody puts on of one AC Slater from Saved by the Bell.
Shockingly, I was the only one doing cosplay as AC Slater.
I cannot confirm or deny that Cody has been invited to the new Saved by the Bell to reimagine the role of Screech, who he more resembles, if we're being honest.
I think that I've been compared to AC in the muscles.
Yes. Stop,
You stud.
Oh, it is Pop Culture Pastor, the podcast here. You heard Cody. Cody's here, looking like Screech over there. Not
Ouch.
AC Slater. Ouch. Body style wise, man. Body style.
Ouch. I got broad shoulders.
It's okay. I'm over here looking like I ate Mr. Belding. My name's Dave. I'm here as well. Our special guest this week, second time as a guest host on the podcast. That would be one Justin John. Justin, how are you?
Hey, what's good, guys? Good to be back.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Justin, it was Justin's idea, the main topic of this podcast, which we're going to get to later. But right now, it's time for us to talk news. And I thought, since we were already talking Saved by the Bell, we ought to talk about our new friend, Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Oh, yes.
Yes, my BFF for life.
By the way, I just want to say that I broke out laughing at work when I saw that picture. And nobody knew what was going on. I should have been doing work, but I lost it.
A little background. A couple weekends ago, Cody and I went to Kansas City's Planet Comic Con. Huge comic convention, 5 football fields of just con madness. And at that comic convention, Cody cosplaying as AC Slater with the wig and everything. Not the ballerina costume he dances in the Max in.
Yeah.
But he had the football jersey, the Bayside High football jersey. He got to meet and hang out with one Zach Morris, nay Mark Paul Gosselaar.
The Mark Paul, as we call him.
Yeah, and he's now a friend of the podcast.
Officially, unofficially.
Yeah, one day we'll get him on the podcast, and it'll be great.
So great.
But he has news. We can actually lead off with Mark Paul Gosselaar news, which how often does that happen?
Not since Saved by the Bell reimagined.
Yeah, this is the official release, of news release here. Mark Paul Gosselaar of Franklin and Bash. Was he Franklin or Bash? Did we ever figure that out?
Bash?
Is he Bash?
I thought he was Bash.
He's Bash.
Okay, you're both wrong. He was Franklin.
Are you
No,
serious?
no, I don't know that. I was just messing with you.
I was like, man.
How are you going to advertise Mark Paul Gosselaar of Franklin and Bash? That's like saying Ben Affleck of Phantoms. Come on. No. He's from Saved by the Bell. He probably doesn't like. Well, he seemed like a cool guy. He's probably okay with it, but like for his career's sake, it's probably best not to associate himself with Zach Morris as much.
For future roles, yes. For Planet Comic Con, you like hype up the Zach Morris all you can.
Yeah. I would say Mark Paul Gosselaar of the one season show, The Passage, which I loved because I loved the book. And then they canceled it after one season, right when it was about to get good.
Without Mark Paul Gosselaar.
What?
I thought you said that if they continued, he wouldn't be in it.
Yeah. The story. So if you've never read the book,
You're gone.
The Passage, it has a major narrative shift in the middle of the book where, the characters you've been reading about, it jumps forward 100 years in time. And so if you watched The Passage and you didn't read the book and you were bummed about it ending after one season, you'd be more bummed to know like it completely hits you upside the face with a plot shift, which would have been awesome and great on television, and we'll never know it because they didn't make season 2.
M. Night should have directed it.
I know, it really should have been movies.
Yeah.
Should have been movies, but it's a very good book. Go read The Passage. Good stuff. Mark Paul Gosselaar, though, is finding work. He's okay. He's joined the cast of a new pilot coming to NBC titled Found. The 1 hour missing persons drama is the way it's described. He's set to star opposite Shanola Hampton from Shameless.
Oh, okay.
And here's a series description. In any given year, more than 600,000 people are reported missing in the U.S. More than half are people of color that the country seems to forget about. In Found, public relations specialist Gabby Mosley, who was played by Hampton, who was once one of the forgotten ones herself, and her crisis management team make sure there's always someone looking out for the forgotten missing people. But unbeknownst to anyone, this everyday hero is hiding a chilling secret of her own. That's the description.
Oh, wow.
Gosler will play Sir, a controversial figure in Gabby's past.
Okay.
So does that make him sound like he's going to be a bad guy? Is he going to be a bad guy?
So, like, without having read it, I thought that he was going to be a police officer.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
NYPD Blue.
Yeah, I was going to say he was on NYPD Blue, but yeah. Now I'm more intrigued with him being a bad guy. Yeah. Potentially.
Is it weird that I thought he was going to have like maybe a more major role? Like it like I don't know. It almost made it more sound like a side piece.
Well, it
to the
sounds
whole
like
thing.
He's going to be in flashbacks. Like this show's going to have flashbacks as we learn more about this Gabby's past. So yeah, it's interesting. We'll see what happens. But I don't know. Are we into that? You gonna watch that?
Yeah.
Starts this fall on NBC.
So
Give it a
maybe he will be like the movie or TV series Jessica Jones. He might be the Kilgrave of the series.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, when your character is named Sir, and this is a show about a woman who leads a task force to find kidnapped humans, and this is a person from her past simply referred to as Sir, doesn't seem good.
Yeah.
Seems like Mark Paul might be playing someone pretty sinister.
It does sound that way.
And like, I don't know how I feel about having to hate Mark Paul.
Well, it happens.
I'll make it happen. No, we're pastors. We don't hate anybody, but unless they, narratively they want us to,
Yes.
then it seems like it's okay.
Then I'll allow it.
I have bashed on Zach Morris many times, but that's because Funny or Die's Zach Morris's trash videos. So,
Okay, we got to talk about some more news. Man, it seems like every week we have to supplement our past episode Is Comedy Dead? Because things keep happening. As we were recording this last night at a comedy show in LA at the Hollywood Bowl, a 23-year-old suspect ran onto the stage and tackled Dave Chappelle.
I would not mess with Dave Chappelle.
That's a wild move. Man.
He's bulked up since the Chappelle show, significantly.
Now, did it say the guy had a gun?
Okay, it is not. It was shaped like a gun. It was a replica gun, but it was actually a knife.
Okay.
Oh,
So he had a knife.
There's a twist.
And basically, if you haven't seen a video of it, he runs on stage and Chappelle kind of turns a little bit like he's a bullfighter. Like he turns as the guy's hitting him. And so he kind of glances off him. And by that time, Jamie Foxx runs out on stage and tries to get this dude. And then there's like, he's running away and there's dudes chasing him. Then Chris Rock comes out and he's like, was that Will Smith? Seriously, that happened. It was like a movie. It was crazy.
Like, you can't write this stuff.
No. So the 23-year-old assailant being identified as Isaiah Lee ran out on the stage with a knife and, tried to hurt him. Said the police say the knife blade extends outward from underneath the gun's barrel. He was taken into custody, but according to ABC News, Chappelle and the man tussled on the stage floor. Security staff surrounded and tackled the man. Jamie Foxx figures into this somehow in a cowboy hat. Chappelle's like, just, when you get attacked, Jamie Foxx just jumps out of nowhere with a cowboy hat to defend you. They made all the jokes afterwards. But yeah, so footage from the Air 7 helicopter there in LA captured the attacker on a gurney as he was being loaded into an ambulance.
I saw the photo.
Like his arm?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got worked over pretty good. For what it's worth, Chappelle, as they were, subduing this man, Chappelle appears to run toward the altercation, saying the man was being stomped, and is asking security to get off the man and just remove him. Like, so Chappelle, like, for what it's worth, was worried about this man who had just attacked him, which I thought was impressive in the moment.
Yeah.
That Chappelle cared enough about this guy to, like, hey, you're hurting him, and he didn't want that. Spokesperson for Chappelle issued a statement today calling the incident unfortunate and unsettling, but saying he refuses to let it overshadow the performance at the Hollywood Bowl. Gosh, is this just going to keep happening now? This is kind of an addendum to our show from a couple weeks ago. Is comedy dead? What are we going to do? Is comedy just going to have to change forever? That we're just never going to approach offending anything that would maybe offend any sort of group or person? I mean, we're in a formative time, I think, of where it goes from here. We don't know.
Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts going through my head because, I mean, you assume that this individual is probably from a group that feels targeted.
Mm-hmm.
But that might not be the case. It could be that, I want to be known as someone famous, kind of like the guy that killed John Lennon. That there really wasn't a good reason why. It was just,
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this at length, and we would invite anyone that hasn't listened to that episode of the podcast, Is Comedy Dead? I mean, we went over a bunch of this, like, well, what happens now? If we're going to say that words are violence, do we stop saying things? I mean, comedy, in a sense, in the past, I mean, Don Rickles made an entire career out of roast comedy, basically, where he would make fun of people. But I think everybody knew they were in on the joke, right?
Yeah.
You didn't take it personally because you understood that Don Rickles, I mean, like, he's Don Rickles. Yeah. I mean, when a guy on stage is like short and round and he's not attractive, should you be threatened? Like, right. The joke is that he's not an exemplary human being. He's not the pinnacle of human achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's strange that we can't, we've arrived at a point through our political maneuvering, I think, the way we've used things politically, movements, to say that words are weapons, and using words in a certain way are attacking. And now we're seeing the logical conclusion of that, which is to say, if someone's attacking me with their words, I'm allowed to attack them with my body, with weapon.
I wonder if this is bigger than comedy, if this is
more, absolutely, yeah.
More of like, you're going to start seeing like partisan entertainment, that like you can't perform in this community if you have right-wing rhetoric, or you can't perform in this community if you have left-wing rhetoric, whether you're a musician, a comedian, someone doing Shakespeare in the park. I mean, whatever it is, like.
Yeah, I believe everything's a pendulum. And I think if that starts happening, which I could see happening, you're going to see individuals start removing themselves from that. Because there'll be like, hey, like, it sounds weird to say, but there's some liberal out there who just really enjoys Ted Nugent's music. Right? I don't know why, but they're out there. There's probably some conservative that really, really adores like current, pop music. People who may be super liberal. Yeah. They're out there. And so, and they're going to find that people were unwilling to let go of our pop culture love. This happens to us in the church, to be honest. There are people in the church who think ministers doing a podcast on pop culture is not good. It's not cool. But we just love pop culture, and we don't believe that, like, I'm not tainted into becoming an evil person because I, watch Star Wars or Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Well, Speak for yourself.
All right, sinners.
Just kidding. No, there are a lot of people. There's judgment on all sides of the aisle, I guess.
For what it's worth, Netflix also issued a brief statement saying, "We care deeply about the safety of creators, and we strongly defend the right of stand-up comedians to perform on stage without fear of violence." I think Netflix has been, for all the missteps we could sit here and say they've made in the venue of pop culture in the last few years, they put some content on their site that I would say, like, come on, why are you putting this on there? Is it just to make a statement and push the envelope? I think what they've said with the Dave Chappelle stuff has been on target. Like saying, hey, we are in agreement with the right of Dave Chappelle to be a comedian and comic and to be a creator. And that allows him some leeway as a creator to create.
Yeah. Say, I did listen to you guys' Is Comedy Dead podcast. And when I was listening to it, I really did think, if there's one thing that might be on life support, it was the roast culture. Mm-hmm. Like thinking of that and the way it plays out, and looking even back on like past roasts, with Bob Saget passing away, not that long ago.
Yeah.
And his roast and things like that. It seems that us kind of growing up in an age where it was like, if you can't take a joke, then there's something wrong with you. Yeah. Clearly now it's driving people to action. Not so much I can't take it, but it's like I'm going to do something about it.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm okay with that. Like if I'm sitting here and I have to make a choice of like, am I going to die on the hill of roast comedy? Nah, I can do without it. I'm fine without it. Roast comedy could be cringy at times, even in the old days. It could be cringy, but really the only venue really that was holding on to it was the Academy Awards. Mm-hmm. That's the only high profile roast, roast comedy atmosphere that you could really find anymore. And like, it seems unlikely they'll continue down that path. Seems like they might be done with the roast culture after this year's events.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
But we'll see if that's what people want, because what you're going to get is, I think what the reason people liked the roast culture at the Academy Awards is you have all these super high profile celebrities and Hollywood people, and it was fun to watch them get skewered.
Right. See their reactions in the crowd.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And now you're probably not going to see that anymore. And frankly, look, a part of me would be sad, I guess. But could I live without roast comedy? Yeah, sure.
As someone that never watches the Academy Awards, didn't bother me one iota.
I worry about Ricky Gervais's work. What's Ricky Gervais going to do now? Forget Dave Chappelle.
Ricky will keep doing Ricky.
Yeah,
things.
He's a talented guy. He'll find something. Okay, next news item on the agenda here, if my computer can stop being stuck. Sad news for Cody this week. Wasn't all great news. Warner Brothers, a report from the Hashtag Show. Warner Brothers Discovery has decided to scrap the Wonder Twins film right before production was set to begin. In fact, weren't we just talking like a couple weeks ago how they'd found their Jana? Yeah. Or Jana.
They had
the girl from 1883.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when they announced who was in the cast, I'm like, I guess I'll give it a shot. But then when Discovery joined Warner Brothers, they're like, get that out of here. And I'm like, thank you.
What?
You're doing the Lord's work.
I mean, this is what DC needed. The DC needed the Wonder Twins, Zan and Jana, played by Riverdale's KJ Apa and Isabel May from 1883. And basically, Zan and Jana were shapeshifters. And they would shapeshift into the most useless things possible.
Ever.
Like they would be like, Wonder Twin powers unite. Zan, form of a bucket. Zane, Jana. Wait, which one did I already say? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Form of water. And then they would the bucket would dump over on somebody and get them wet.
and somehow it figured into stopping the bad person. Yeah, no,
Wow.
The crazy thing is they were in like the Justice League. They were on the Super Friends.
Yes.
And so you've got Zan and Jaina turning into like a monkey in a tree. And like Superman's there. Like when Zan and Jaina, I'm failing to recognize your purpose here.
I mean, I see the appeal of a movie just being randomness and maybe comedy, but yeah, where do you go with that?
I didn't know. Like, it was so weird with them being in the like Justice League cartoon, like from the 80s. Like, they would literally turn into a bucket of water.
Zan, Wonder Twin powers unite. Zan, form of ice. Oh, you're like, okay, we're on to something here. Jaina, form of a cup. And then the ice would go in the cup so you can keep your drink cool.
That's the worst.
See here, Superman, Bruce Wayne, you can keep your drink cool. That's useful, right? Oh man, I'd be lying if I said I'm not a little disappointed that they're canceling this movie.
I think my curiosity is what's a little disappointed.
Poor KJ Appa.
What do you mean, poor KJ Appa?
Like, he was in that Jeremy Camp movie that came out right as the pandemic hit and everything closed down.
He will forever be Jeremy Camp.
And then now he can't even be a Wonder Twin.
He is a celebrity in Christian culture forevermore.
Even
though he's in the highly inappropriate Riverdale show.
Can he be our new Kirk
Yeah.
Cameron?
I don't know.
Can KJ Appa film fireside chats in his backyard with an American flag, a Don't Tread on Me flag, and a replica of the United States Constitution while talking about Jesus, I guess? That was a Kirk Cameron
it's yet
joke,
to be
but
seen.
if you haven't been following Kirk Cameron, you don't get that at all. But trust me, just look up Kirk Cameron on Facebook or something, and it'd have to be on Facebook or whatever Donald Trump's new platform is.
Yeah.
You'll find Kirk Cameron there being all 7 loads of crazy. Anyways,
So no Wonder Twins.
No Wonder Twins.
no Wonder Twins movie form of not gonna work here anymore. Anyways, that was an Office Space joke.
Yes.
The EW, Entertainment Weekly,
Ew.
Dennis Perkins wrote an article where he ranked the 10 best Adam Sandler movies.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Bring this.
Yeah, and I thought with
Yeah.
Justin here,
Come
we
on.
needed to talk about this.
What do we got?
I didn't make it past number 10. So I have no idea how this list is going to shake out.
Okay.
Because I got so mad at number 10, I about threw my phone.
Please say number 10's Lil Nicky.
No. No, it is not. Number 10 is Billy Madison.
What in the wide world of sports?
I know. For me, Adam Sandler was perfectly captured. His absurdist comedy was perfectly captured in Billy Madison in 1995. And then after that, he gets more and more palatable for home audiences.
Right.
In my opinion, but Billy Madison still reigns supreme as like this absurdist piece of.
That was like the raw peak
You
comedy.
could put it in the top 4 anywhere in there, and I might be a little upset, but not super upset.
Oh man, if pee in your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis. Like that movie is so great. It's so hilarious.
You could quote the entire thing probably and never get tired of
yeah.
it. 10's way too low.
Okay.
It had great songs. Billy passed the 3rd grade. Oh, what a wonderful day. Yeah. Oh, passing 3rd grade. The Billy Madison way.
My favorite part of that is just when he's like, yes, rock on. Like it's the best song he's ever heard in his life.
Oh, man. Yeah. So that movie is number 10.
Okay, what else we got here?
And I'm just kind of shocked.
Do we go pretentious Adam Sandler and get Punch Drunk Love?
Well, number 9 is called The Week Of, which was a Netflix movie, apparently, with Chris Rock.
Oh.
I've never seen it.
I haven't been that tantalized by any of his Netflix stuff, if I'm just going to be honest.
Same.
Number 8 was Spanglish, which got a lot of critical acclaim.
Yeah.
I saw it a long time ago. It wasn't like a comedy. It was like a drama.
Yeah, so this guy's already going in a direction I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
Not to say that Adam Sandler's not talented.
No.
He is clearly very talented. And not to say that I didn't enjoy his dramatic movies.
He might have one of the better dramatic movies in Reign Over Me.
That one
Reign
is
Over Me
pretty
was fantastic.
Yeah.
Number 7 was You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Okay.
Didn't really see
Get out of here with that and putting Billy Madison at number 10.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can live in a world where someone thinks You Don't Mess with the Zohan was better than Billy Madison.
You Don't Mess with the Zohan was kind of like Sacha Baron Cohen like style comedy. It wasn't Adam Sandler comedy. It was some other style
I
of thing
would compare
happening
it to
there.
The Love Guru. Like,
Yeah.
neither of them were great. It was, you watched it because it had someone from Saturday Night Live that you grew up and you loved.
Side news item, Mike Myers hinted that there may be another Austin Powers movie on the way. And I'm not sure I want to see it anymore. And this comes from someone who loved Mike Myers. But I don't know, man. That Pentaveret movie looks just bonkers. Anyways, let's get back to the list. Number 6, according to this guy from Entertainment Weekly, the number 6 Adam Sandler movie of all time was Funny People. Just a Judd Apatow movie. And I thought that was good, where he's got had a diagnosis that he thought he was going to die.
Yeah.
And then it goes into remission, I believe.
Okay.
Spoilers.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's Seth Rogen's in it. Leslie Mann, Apatow's wife, who's contractually obligated to be in any Judd Apatow movie.
I didn't see that
apparently.
making it that high. Like,
Yeah, no.
It was good. It was good, but still above Billy Madison. I don't know. Number 5 is Happy Gilmore.
okay.
Okay, I'm here for that.
I love Happy. I feel like Happy's at the same peak of comedy as Billy Madison. Like they're hitting about the same time.
Yeah.
Kinda same style.
If Happy Gilmore retains his absurdist comedy, but is slightly more mainstream, I think that's a good description of it. And I'm okay if you say Happy is better than Billy Madison, but it seems to me one of those two has to be his best. I mean, Happy Gilmore, the level of ties it has with the culture, even now.
Yeah.
When someone thinks of Bob Barker, they don't think The Price is Right anymore.
No.
They think of him beating the nerd out of Adam Sandler.
The price is wrong.
Bobby.
How you like me now, Bobby?
What?
So, like, I mean, look at the Shooter McGavin Twitter account.
Christopher McDonald.
Yeah.
Christopher McDonald, the actor who played Shooter McGavin in a movie from, almost 30 years ago now, actually is listed on Twitter as Shooter McGavin, the real Shooter McGavin.
Wow.
He's not Christopher McDonald.
They did a little, was it a Twitter face-off kind of thing not that long ago? You dead, Shooter.
So as far as like something that was culturally relevant, Happy Gilmore should be number 1 or number 2, in my opinion.
So I'm one of
agree.
those weirdos that out of Happy, Billy, and Waterboy, I'll go Waterboy.
Really?
I will.
I think I would put Waterboy 3 of
I mean,
those
you
three.
can. We always allow you space on this podcast to be wrong. That's fine. The Waterboy's great.
Oh, it's so quotable.
Not as quotable as Happy.
Yeah.
Captain Insano.
Is not nearly as cool as Chubbs Peterson.
That's right. You're pretty sick, Chubbs.
That alligator took my hand. Don't worry about it. Made of wood. Real solid material. Number 4, the Meyerowitz stories.
What?
Yeah. Never heard of it.
I would have gone like, if they were talking about stories, like maybe bedtime stories. I don't know what that movie is.
Number 3, Uncut Gems, which he got a
Okay,
lot of critical acclaim for.
I was going to say that has to be in top 3.
I heard a lot about that one.
Did you see that one, Cody?
No.
Did you watch Uncut Gems? I didn't either. Because as it turns out, I'm not real interested in watching Adam Sandler dramatically.
Although
not with
KG
what that was.
evidently does a good job in it.
That would be one Kevin Garnett.
Yes,
Yes.
correct.
For anyone not down with Cody's lingo.
NBA Pro.
Number 2, The Wedding Singer. So
I love The Wedding Singer.
If we're talking about mainstream Sandler, Wedding Singer is the first mainstream comedy that he does. He does it with Drew Barrymore.
Somebody kill me, please.
I still sing that song.
Yeah.
When my kids are acting up, I still would be like, somebody kill me, please. Pretty, pretty, please.
I'm on
My kids look at me weird, and my wife does that disapproving look. Like,
like,
hey, let's
that's
not talk,
inappropriate.
sing about killing ourselves in front of our children, even if it's a joke. Like, it's a joke. They get it.
You know that.
Probably not. It's probably inappropriate. Number 1, Punch Drunk Love.
Oh, I called it. Because I said, is this list
Right.
pretentious enough to have Punch Drunk Love?
Welcome to Cody's Pride Hour.
Yes.
Paul Thomas Anderson, Punch Drunk Love. Yeah, okay.
Oh, like-
that's fine. It was good.
Yes.
He was great in it.
He actually was the best part of that movie. I am offended that Reign Over Me did not make this list.
Yeah.
I'm
Where's
offended,
Reign Over Me?
I agree with that.
Like Click, I'm surprised didn't make it.
Actually,
come on.
Actually, well, no.
Click.
Click had good drama though.
Click
He
did.
well with the drama. in that
And
movie.
then 50 First Dates.
Yeah. So
If-
for me, if
Yeah.
Wedding Singer is going to be on the list, 50 First Dates shouldn't be far
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah.
Another movie with Drew Barrymore, and it was wonderful. Great movie.
Their chemistry has always been amazing.
Yeah.
I think every time they get together on something, it's pretty. It's
So
pretty awesome.
in conclusion, this list from Entertainment Weekly is
Blows.
junk, and they're just trying to say that Adam Sandler's artsy movies are better. Nah,
Like-
I disagree.
like
and,
5
and
of
if you're
those
going to
don't belong
include the
on there.
artsy movies, the dramatic movies, at least include one of the best ones, which was we agree is Reign Over Me,
Absolutely.
about the man who's suffering PTSD basically
Yeah.
after 9/11 from losing his wife.
Yeah.
And by the way, May is Mental Health Month. And so
Yes.
we're going
Right.
to plug that.
Yeah, good plug.
Yeah.
It's a good plug. Do we have a phone number? Well, they're out there.
I was just going to say,
I was going to
the
say-
more you know.
Yeah.
You know. All right, it's time for us to go out to the lobby and answer listener questions. We'll meet you out there in just a second. All right, welcome back. We are in the lobby.
We are.
I have nachos in hand.
Again, Raisinets.
Is that your go-to movie snack? Raisinets? Is that really it?
It's on a short list.
Okay.
Chocolate covered raisins are good. Yeah.
Now my go-to snack is nachos now that I'm a grown adult and I'm mature and I have money. When I was a younger adult, I may or may not have snuck in McDoubles in my pockets. When they were on the value menu, I would wear cargo shorts and I would have McDoubles in my cargo shorts.
Hopefully they weren't greasy.
No, they were pretty good. It was a good movie snack to have some McDoubles. Yeah, I don't feel bad about it. Movie theater concession prices are pretty whack.
If you're listening, movie theaters, drop them by $1.
Thank
you.
I have more than made up for the times I snuck in McDoubles. All right, we're in the lobby. It's time to answer listener questions. First question, Kyle Kessinger from Lawrence, our friend Kyle. Now that I've seen Spider-Man No Way Home, does Doctor Strange's spell just make everyone forget about Peter Parker? Or does it erase evidence as well? Everyone who went to school with him is going to have pictures. Schools have records. Even J. Jonah Jameson has video footage of Mysterio telling everyone that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. He says, definitely a few plot holes, but love the flick. I thought it was fantastic. That's what he says. Now, I have thought about this. I'm going to put it like this. Clearly, the magic that Doctor Strange is using, and by the words of the Ancient One herself in the original Doctor Strange, there is a level of multiversal magic at work here. Mm-hmm. I'm going to posit, because they have not explained this. This is a fairly big plot hole.
Yeah.
It's not explained why evidence would have disappeared of Peter Parker being Spider-Man without people forgetting that there was a Spider-Man, right? Like, that's even at the end of the movie, you see a clip of J. Jonah Jameson saying, Spider-Man must unmask himself. So he's aware Spider-Man exists still. And yet, there should be video footage of J. Jonah Jameson talking about who Spider-Man is. but I digress. What I think happens is the spell literally creates an alternate reality where it's the reality diverges from the main timeline. And now you are in this like alternate reality where people just don't know that the part of the magic is like a multiversal thing. That's what I got.
So I like that one. I would maybe suggest that evidence is still there, but like when you're scrolling through your phone and something doesn't catch your eye and you just keep on scrolling, that like the spell has made it that it's something that is
so the spell's
they're oblivious to now.
Has done something biological in your brain
to
block out that information.
That's what I'm going to go with.
I think that's
so
reasonable.
like you could see Peter Parker in the yearbooks, but you will just like bypass his name. You'll just go on to the next person. And
okay.
Yeah.
I'm here for that explanation. I could go for that. I think that's a good one. That's a good question, Kyle. And I have pondered that.
I had not, but now you pointed it out and I'm concerned. So
we are biologically thinking creatures. So I think that's a reasonable explanation. Lauren Allen asks, what is currently your favorite video game to play?
Skyrim.
Cody, I'll let you go first.
Skyrim is the answer, even though it's an older game now. But just hours upon hours and hours of video game and open world. Like you can do so much in Skyrim.
Skyrim. Now, is it a role playing game? What is this? What is Skyrim?
So it's like part of the Elder Scrolls video games. So you get to choose like your character if you're going to be like an orc or you're going to be various type of human or a wood elf or a dark elf or whatever. And then you can choose to be in guilds and you can choose to focus on magic or you can choose to focus on fighting.
This sounds suspiciously like Gauntlet, the old arcade game. The warrior needs food.
And so, yeah, you fight dragons. You do a bunch of stuff. So much.
Yeah. Now I can't stop thinking about Gauntlet and how amazingly trend-setting that was when it came out. I mean, that game came out in I want to say the mid-'80s, 85, somewhere in there. And that game was so advanced for the time in arcade games. I mean, it was essentially a dungeon crawling game, but a button mashing game too. Like it combined, if everyone Google Gauntlet right now, if you don't know what I'm talking about.
It is the Hannah Montana of arcade games, AKA the best of both worlds.
I have no idea I have no idea what you just said. Explain.
Hannah Montana, like she was a pop star.
Who's Hannah Montana?
Miley Cyrus's character on the Disney show. So she was a regular person by day, and then by night she was a pop star. So it's the best of both worlds.
Oh, so they copied comic books. She's a superhero. She had an alter ego.
Essentially, yes.
Except she was a pop star that nobody recognized.
Somehow.
Is that never ever explained? Did they ever address that on Hannah Montana?
I didn't watch it. I just know the theme song.
You did. You totally watched it. Totally watched it. Let's see. Video game I currently play. What? I'm not. Oh man, I used to be a gamer. I loved games when I was younger. I loved sports games in particular. Those were big.
I'll still throw down on Madden or NBA 2K.
Yeah, I used to love the old when Sega Genesis came out, and then early PlayStations, the EA games. Madden, especially the college football. I enjoyed college football.
It's coming back.
It's coming back. I loved playing dynasties, where you would recruit players or in the NFL, you would trade or sign and draft players. But nowadays, when I do get to play video games, I like Rocket League, which is essentially soccer with cars. And you drive your car around this arena and hit the ball.
It's so difficult for me.
Yeah, it takes a while. You gotta once you get used to it though. Yeah, I like Rocket League. That's one and I'm decent at it. I would say I'd anoint myself as a decent Rocket League player. The other game I like to play like on my phone, like when I'm bored, when I'm in a waiting room or something, and I'm just waiting around. I like to play a game called Hearthstone.
Oh.
Which is from Blizzard. It's World of Warcraft, but it's a card game. It's sort of a deck building game kind of thing. So it's one of those games. And I play that one more recreationally, I would say, when I'm bored.
I don't have any phone games. I used to, but I know me. I get distracted and get sucked in, and then I get bored with it. It's just a vicious cycle. I
used to have more games on my phone, but then I when I crossed over from when I would play them, not just when I was bored, but play them, like choose to play them, I knew I had to get rid of them. So now the only game I really have on my phone is Hearthstone. No Candy Crushes, things like that. Because I did like Candy Crush. And there was something about that game where you just kept continuing. You'd lose and try again and try again. There's something about that was really kind of an addicting. It was designed in a certain way. So I got rid of most of the games on my phone, but I keep Hearthstone just because it's not just one more game.
Yeah.
You play a game, it can take as little as a few minutes or up to like 15 minutes, depending on your opponent. And you play one game and then I'm like, okay, I'm good.
I'm out.
Yeah. Those are the games I like now.
Okay. Good list.
Yeah. Rocket League. I was into PUBG a couple years ago, but I wasn't very good at it. I'm not very good at the first person shooter games. Call of Duty. I tried playing that once. I'm woeful at it. And it makes me motion sick. It's too much. It's too much for me.
I am here to throw down on Smash Brothers, though. Like,
I have been known to play some Smash Brothers with the youth, but when I say I'm heavy on the smash because I just smash buttons. I don't know what I'm doing. I just button press.
I am Falcon punching people left and right.
But just don't Falcon punch people in real life.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Make sure and be on the lookout for when we post the Ask Us Anythings prompts on our Facebook page and our Twitter page, and you too. Could be singled out in our lobby section every podcast, every week. That was a good question. That was from Lauren Allen. What video games are we currently playing? I wish I was more of a gamer. I liked being a gamer, but
I wish I had more time to game.
I mostly look back on the nostalgia of being a gamer during the original Nintendo days. I loved playing the original Legend of Zelda and stuff like that. But that is the length of my gaming now.
Yeah, it happens.
Get ready for the main focus of the pod. We'll be right back with our discussion. What are we talking about?
We're talking about fictional places to eat.
Fictional places to eat. That's right. I'm ready. My brain went blank, but I'm ready now. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to the podcast. It's time for us to get into our main point of discussion this episode. This was Justin's idea. He just brought this up randomly in conversation.
Yeah.
Fictional food eateries. The places that they eat at in our favorite shows, movies, whatever. Just to get us going, one of the first ones we thought of was Big Kahuna Burger.
Yeah.
In Quentin Tarantino movies, in particular Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And it just got us going. We want to just think about like, okay, so first of all, it's in Pulp Fiction. It may be in some of the other, I know it appears in other Quentin Tarantino flicks. I'm not really sure which ones. I just know it pops up. You can see cups in the background and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's prominent in Pulp Fiction in the scene where Jules and who was John Travolta's character? I can't remember.
Gosh. Sorry.
Vincent Vega.
Yeah.
Vincent Vega and Jules go to collect the briefcase from this apartment of young guys. And Jules, Samuel L. Jackson's character, just starts like, eating this dude's food from Big Kahuna Burger. And he eats it very like prominently. Like he's biting into it. He's like, that is a tasty burger. And then he drinks the drink, the soda he's got, or is it a milkshake? I don't even remember at this point.
Yeah.
But we wanted to like, first of all, to discuss like what kind of place it was. This is clearly fast food.
Yeah.
The presence of Big Kahuna, like the Hawaiian part of that, makes me afraid that we might have some burgers with pineapple on it, which I'm not here for.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of almost sounds like maybe there might be like a pork option.
No thanks.
like-
Pineapple.
Maybe
Kinda the
the
Hawaiian
bun
style.
is a sweet roll.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, I'm all right with that. I'm okay with the sweet roll,
I can see you going that route.
but I'm not here for going too Hawaiian.
No.
Like keep that pineapple off my cheeseburger.
It almost looks more like a theme of the chain than maybe actual Hawaiian.
That
food.
maybe it's just a straight up burger chain.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
so. And they just wanted to call it Big Kahuna.
I mean, when they did the mock episode in Community, where everyone dressed up from that movie, like it was just a regular burger joint.
So like that's what we wanted to talk about as well, was what specifically we see the characters eating, which we talked about. A burger. Jules eats the guy's burger and finishes off the drink too. Like they make a joke about him like really guzzling it. And then what else do we think was on that menu? So we're leaning towards this is just a regular burger joint and it has a Hawaiian theme.
Oh man, you know what? I'm looking up some pictures right now. It looks like that burger might have had pineapple on it.
No, that's a no-go. That's the last. The last question is, would we eat there? And that's the.
I'd have the milkshake for sure.
What do we think the milkshake is? Pineapple? No,
No.
thanks. No thanks.
No, I think that you have to go
Is that
like
the
basic.
same? Is that the same place as the $5 milkshake? I mean, are we talking about the same thing in Pulp Fiction?
No. So
a different diner.
that is the Jackrabbit Slims.
Yeah.
So that's when they're at Jackrabbit Slims,
Okay.
Vincent Vega and Uma Thurman's character, where they do the twist.
Yeah.
That's a different place. That's
Okay.
Jackrabbit
Okay.
Slims. Also worth talking about because, I mean, if nothing else, you could have a $5 milkshake and do the twist.
Yeah.
As one does.
There it is. Now I did some research on that, and it's like, yeah, like what makes a milkshake worth $5? And I heard it's just a little touch of bourbon in there is kind of what ups the price a little bit.
That's always the adult
But-
beverages, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, but obviously Travolta thought it was a dang good milkshake. So
Yeah.
That better be a good milkshake. Okay, so Justin, do you have one to throw up here?
Again, I was kind of talking to you guys about how like I feel like a lot of Disney films, a lot of Pixar films, kind of begin with they have that encompassing food idea, and one of those is Ratatouille that just kind of encompasses the whole idea. Immediately makes you think of food, but throughout that movie, it's about marrying the flavors of food and saying like, hey, like, I'm a chef, I can cook, but so can you.
So that would be Gusto's.
Yeah, Gusto.
Gusto's. What was the name of it?
Yeah,
Gusto.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're clearly rocking the fancy food.
Yeah.
Yes.
At Gusto's.
Fine dining.
Pinky
So it's-
out.
What's that?
Pinky out.
Yeah. It's an upscale establishment. So, do we remember what they make? Well, Ratatouille,
Yes.
obviously.
Yeah.
Which I don't generally think of as like an upscale item.
No,
That's like I put that in the same level as like gumbo, right?
yeah. I think.
But
I think
it's-
What is Ratatouille?
It's vegetables.
Yeah.
It's like stewed vegetables, almost kind of like made into like a form, like a round form.
Okay.
It's a
It's
a
rich
veggie dish.
man's gumbo with veggies.
Because from the one time I went to New Orleans, my understanding of gumbo is it's just like whatever we had. And we threw it into a pot and make the same sauce
Right.
Yeah.
with it. That's my understanding of gumbo, which the sauce is like heartburn city. I not for me.
Take a Pepsid beforehand.
It's got like does it have curry in it? I'm not sure. Like,
It has some
No.
little kick.
yeah, I'm not a fan of the gumbo, so I'm afraid I probably would like Ratatouille. I don't know, but it seems like an upscale place. Although
So escargot.
Seems like once the word's out that a rat is your chef.
The jig is up.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that play out in Ratatouille? It's been a while since I've seen that.
Oh, well, invites, like, he gets, there's
They all live happily
conflict
ever after,
between them,
right?
Yeah. And then,
He has his own restaurant.
have his own restaurant. Yeah.
that people go to, even though it's a rat.
Like, they know it's him and they're totally down.
Okay, that's weird.
That's Disney.
Would we eat there? It's a no for me.
I'm out.
That'll be a no for me, dog.
I think the rat part is just a little too much. It might be.
I mean, I was out with all the veggies. But
I mean, not only that, but it's like, upscale. I'm not really that high on upscale. It's like, I'll eat a burger joint anytime, but
yeah.
If I'm going upscale, if I'm going like for a fancy meal, like a high cost meal, I kind of want a steak.
yeah.
Because when else am I going to get that kind of quality of a cut of meat if I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if I go to a high cost place, I almost have to get the steak because I wouldn't generally get to have that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's just me. Cody, do you have one?
I do. Okay. So you heard me say that I'm not a veggies kind of guy. What I eat usually ate the veggies beforehand, so I'm good. I figure myself to be more of a Ron Swanson man, and that's why I chose Charles Mulligan Steakhouse.
There you go.
Charles Mulligan Steakhouse. Now, that's not in Pawnee. That's in Indianapolis, right?
That is, and it was shut down.
Well, as long as we're talking about that one, too, we ought to just include all of Ron's favorite places.
Yeah.
Because another of Ron's favorite places is also Paunch Burger.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
But let's go through this together. What kind of place is Charles Mulligan's? What was it?
Steakhouse.
Charles Mulligan's Steakhouse.
Yes.
This is clearly where it's not the quality of cut. They're just going to throw a giant hunk of meat on your plate.
I mean, he literally had pictures taken with him and the steak. And he had different cuts of steaks in each photo. And so, yeah, like, you're going to get...
He's so heartbroken
Oh,
that
yeah.
it went out of business.
And he was worried that maybe there were steaks that were left behind.
Yeah. And as far as what
Yeah.
what he would specifically eat there, it would be all the meats.
All the meats.
All the meats. At Paunch Burger, it would just be just lots of it.
Yeah.
So, and the great thing about Ron Swanson on Parks and Rec is just how happy he looks when he has food. I love, like, there's a opening to an episode, a cold open one, where he's just going through the office and showing you all the emergency stashes of bacon he has.
yes.
Bacon. He like moves one of the ceiling tiles. Bacon. And I've dreamed of doing that, but also like that doesn't work because bacon won't last long.
It will not.
But yeah, he just looks so happy. And of course, Ron's eating meat, or generally
what he's
speaking, lots of protein. There's also the episode where because he's sad about Charles Mulligan's closing, they go to like a diner.
Yeah.
And he asks for all the eggs and bacon they have. And then he stops the waiter after he takes it and says, like, I'm worried that what you heard me say was I want a lot of eggs and bacon. But what I actually said was I want all the eggs and bacon you have. Which, I felt that.
No, you didn't hear me right.
Yeah. And then what is it that him and Andy get that has like several cuts of meat within a taco? Like,
I don't even remember.
because it was like epic.
Eating is such a big part of Parks and Rec because there's also the breakfast place.
Oh yeah,
that
Leslie
loves
her waffles and whipped cream.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes,
it's
she
just
does.
it's all breakfast. What was the name of that place? Golly, I'm not gonna be able to find it. She's all about the waffles. It's JJ's Diner.
Yes, it is.
JJ's Diner is a big story point in that show as well. I just appreciate whenever food is a story point. Paunch Burger comes up a lot.
Agreed.
Yeah.
In Parks and Rec. And if we're talking about would we eat there? Yeah, I'm pretty much to all those places.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say all three sound phenomenal.
Like Paunch Burger, in. Charles Mulligan Steakhouse, in.
breakfast.
JJ's Diner?
I mean, what more do you need?
So that show really nailed the food
Yeah.
component.
I think it did.
The next one I'd like to talk about, put up for discussion, is the Max,
Yeah.
which was the hangout on Saved by the Bell. Now, here's the thing I'm not clear about is if we go to that first question, what kind of place is this? This appears to be just like an annex of the high school. Like, it just appears that there's only high school kids in here at any given time. Where are all the adult people that would eat at a place like this? Because it appears to be just like a straight up diner.
Yeah.
It's kind of their hang.
But it's only
like
populated,
nobody-
with high school kids.
Yeah. Like no
And that
adults are seen
weird
there.
magician.
Well, he owned the Max, right? Or did he just work there?
I think he just worked there. And then there was the guy with the curly hair that replaced him that was like an actor.
Yeah. Who do we think owned the Max? Do we think it's school district owned? Is it an annex of the high school, or is Mr. Belding? Is he
I don't
rocking
know.
that money on the side?
I mean, Bayside, it seemed like a fairly desirable place to be. I mean,
That's true.
They had
these are
oil.
well-to-do kids.
they are. Yeah.
And they had oil in one episode. Like, oh, we have
Right.
oil
The
on
football
our
field,
football
right?
field.
Yeah.
What a weird plot line.
Oh yeah.
Which Zach Morris was trash in that episode because he dressed up as an indigenous person.
I mean, Zach Morris isn't always trash.
Hey, don't forget.
That's
There's
pretty
no
bad,
hope
though.
with
That
dope.
is pretty bad,
Yes.
though. That's basically blackface now. That would not fly these days.
Yeah. Which, again, if you like Funny or Die.
Let's get Mark Paul on the phone.
Yeah,
we
there you
need
go.
to talk to him about this.
right now.
But he wasn't always trash. There was the episode where Jesse Spano gets hooked on no-dos.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. She was so
And
excited.
He helps her through that.
She was so
She's
excited.
so excited. Yes, because when people are addicted to no-dos, they just randomly sing Pointer Sisters songs
Right.
from the early 80s.
That's where it goes.
Man, that episode was rough.
It was.
That was like the Saved by the Bell, but what if we did like the after school special episode?
Yeah.
Do you remember after school specials?
Although they did an after school special episode where there's no hope with dope.
They literally
That was
They're like-
literally the episode.
they'd like slam the locker and they'd be like stupid.
Okay, but this wasn't okay. So the Jesse Spano no-dose episode wasn't illegal substances. This is over the counter stuff because this was
Yeah,
back when you could
right.
still. Okay, so I know now we're living in this time where you got to get signed for just about everything now, Sudafed, whatever, because it turns out we can make illicit drugs out of a lot of things. But back in these days, you could get no-dose right off the shelf at a Walmart or something. And because I remember kids before that, I mean, or even after that episode came out, we didn't learn. I remember kids taking no-dose, too much no-dose, and then showing up at school getting sick. And then we'd be like, what happened to them? And they're like, well, I heard they took too much no-dose. And you're like, what an idiot. Did they not learn anything from Jesse Spano?
No, they did not.
I learned that in middle school watching Saved by the Bell. Screech
Oh
would be
man.
just so angry.
Yes.
Or should I say AC? Because AC was romantically linked to Jesse Spano
Yes.
before she went off to Vegas to
Yes.
become
Yes.
a Vegas dancer.
As one does.
Let's not go there.
But yes, the Max, their food always looked good, but I mean, it was just diner food.
Yeah. So we think it's just like straight diner.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me that it's always populated with kids.
Yeah.
So, like, as an adult now, I would not go to the Max because I'd be the creepy old guy. But
Yeah. Let me tell you why the Max is not a realistic place, because that's not a good business model. Because 95% of those kids ain't buying anything. They're just there.
One grown man bussing the place.
Yeah.
Hey, you kids.
Like Zach Morris is buying a milkshake, and that's about it. Because all the poor kids, they're just there to hang out and cause problems.
yeah,
I know teenagers.
Although they did have an arcade game there.
Well, that was back in the day. That used to be a thing we liked.
Yeah.
Before
I mean,
these-
but
before you
don't
could play games on your cell phone.
Don't you think like the Max might make some mad cheese fries though?
Yeah.
You could probably get a basket of cheese fries.
Chili cheese fries if you were feeling extra saucy. Yeah.
I feel like that could be a specialty there.
Would we eat there? As a high school kid? Hard yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. As an adult? Well, it depends. Are there any other adults there, or am I going to get immediately accused of checking out high school kids by being there? Because it seems like being the one adult in a place of high school kids is not a good scenario.
Although, again, the magician dude, he was.
Well, I have my suspicions. I mean, he does not escape. Like, what's he doing there? Why is he hanging out with high school kids? He looks 30 easy.
Easily.
Yeah. I don't know.
Easily.
Justin, do you have another one you want to talk about?
Yeah. I was gonna go with something else, but I'll stick with Disney for a minute here. When you look at the story of Toy Story and Pizza Planet, and how Pizza Planet flowed through all the movies, you'd always see the rocket ship or the truck. Everything about that place looked dumb fun. You're gonna have like monster slushies and pizza, and all the while you're just gonna play all these arcade games the whole time. I mean, it really beckoned back to childhood things.
I was going to say it looked like the way they advertised Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes, very much
but
so.
Like actually good, because Chuck E. Cheese is actually trash.
Yeah, let's be very clear. Chuck E. Cheese ruined my life. Because Chuck E. Cheese was the beginning of the end of arcades. So when I was young, we actually had arcades, like real arcades. And even into my young adult years, there were still some around where you would go in and play real games, like pinball and arcade games that had a point where you could beat them, like go through the game. And then Chuck E. Cheese has this model of like they had a few arcade games when I was a kid. But then the rest of it is what I call child casino games. It's like, everyone makes a big deal about like adults grooming children. Like that's a thing we all we all recognize as sinister and bad. Are we really going to sit here and not talk about Chuck E. Cheese grooming children to be gamblers?
Yeah.
Because that's all Dave and Buster's, everything that identifies itself as an arcade now is actually soft core gambling.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Because there's no games of skill. It's all luck and chance. It's like a slot machine, but it's designed in a way that's, big and bombastic and dynamic and complex often. But at the end of the day, it's luck. It's a slot machine, and you get handed out some tickets, and then you go turn them in for some prize that wasn't worth nearly as much as the money you just spent to get the tickets.
Yeah. The most skilled game they have anymore is skee ball.
Yeah. And so
I like skee ball.
When I think
too.
about what you're saying, Pizza Planet and Toy Story, I think the reason a lot of us love Toy Story, and especially like those little bits there, is because there's a nostalgic factor.
Yeah, the childhood rears its ugly head.
You go back to like, listen, there's a time in my childhood where there isn't a pizza place that doesn't have an arcade room. All pizza places had arcade rooms, and pizza places were generally like, there's so many pizza places now that don't have dine-in. It's all delivery. Well, back when I was a kid, we would go to pizza places, and you would order your pizza, and of course that takes a little bit, and the kids would go play games in the arcade while the adults sat and chatted. Yeah. And man, I miss that. And Pizza Planet and Toy Story, man, it just hits me in the feels.
Yeah, like it scares me. Like one time I watched a documentary about how Chuck E. Cheese potentially pieces together pizzas of old pizza, because there's always one piece that doesn't fit the circle. And I'm scared that it might be that kind of food. Like that might be what, like Pizza Planet shovels it out and you're like, that piece doesn't fit at all.
Yeah, let's just be clear. The food quality at the old Pizza Planet is probably not good. We're talking CC's level.
But it looks good, but it probably is trash.
I think we would be like, I'll suffer the food to go have fun.
Yeah.
You make certain concessions to go to, to the pizza place. So where we're recording in Tulsa, they have a place called Incredible Pizza.
Yeah.
Which you pay just a ridiculous amount of fee to get in, money to get in. But while you're there, they have a huge arcade and they have putt-putt and go-karts, but also you just eat when you're there. So you could stay there theoretically all day and have a couple meals, which is great. Because and then we're not talking quality stuff. But that's how I imagine Pizza Planet was.
Me too. Yeah.
It's good.
So yeah,
Would we go there? Sure. Yes.
Why not?
I've been there many times, even if it wasn't called Pizza Planet.
Spoilers.
And to this day, I like to take my kids to Incredible Pizza.
Yeah.
But not Chuck E. Cheese.
No.
Forget that place.
We're done with that.
They're evil incarnate, and they changed arcades forever. And I'm not here for it.
Forget that mouse.
Cody, do you have a place you want to talk about?
I do. So I doubt that either of you know it. It's the diner from.
Oh, that's a new show.
It's a new show from the producers of Lost. And so the thing with this diner is
this is like one of those you don't know what's going on in the town shows.
Food just shows up.
Yeah.
And like
wait, you never see who brings you the food?
Like the groceries and like the animals, they just show up.
I'm here for it.
There's this sweet lady. I think she's from Japan, and she is the main chef there. And like this new family comes into town, and she hears that their youngest wants pancakes, and she just whips up a nice batch of the fluffiest pancakes you've ever seen. Yeah. And like she makes like this really awesome looking like sweetbread and all the
I know nothing about this show, but they're all dead. Knowing what I know about Lost, they're all dead. They're in heaven. I mean, you're just saying fluffy pancakes are basically appearing.
Tasting manna. That's all it is.
Side note, food just appearing. This is not qualify as an eatery, but I've said before on this show, and I'll say again, one of the things I dearly want to have happen as far as technology that comes true is the food replicators from Star Trek The Next Generation, where they just say what they want and it just appears like it literally forms in front of their eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that needs to happen.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. Your 3D printer is very impressive, sir. Call me when I can eat it. And it's good.
So yeah, that would be the place.
I need to watch From.
I
need to watch that
because I finished the first season. And I'm like, when will the second season come out? Is this what Lost was like? I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
let's talk about Central Perk.
Yeah,
Friends.
I was going to say, does that make our list?
I think it has to. You can't forget it.
This is the ultimate. Does this hit old millennials and young Gen X right in the sweet spot? Because if I skip right now to would I go there? Oh yeah, this would be my hang
for sure.
Coffee house. I mean, they've got.
Okay, I don't like coffee.
They've probably got muffins. What do we think they have there?
Scones.
Let's flesh out their menu. They've got muffins too, because Joey's eating the muffins.
Yep.
And Gunther, I think Gunther's rocking these fresh baked treats.
I think so. I mean,
like, I would go there for the entertainment and atmosphere, but I don't drink coffee.
Okay.
So,
side note: would we hate the Friends crew? If we were regulars at Central Perk, would that be the group where like I don't like them?
They always steal the couch.
They think they own this joint. They're so entitled.
And I mean, if I'm being honest, Smelly Cat isn't great.
See,
Burn notice.
I think I'm down for Phoebe Buffay's musical interludes, though. I'm okay with that. But just from an entertainment factor, I think I like that atmosphere in the place. It's open mic night at the Central Perk all the time.
I love the hang atmosphere. Like, all about coffee. I 100% would meet up with people just to have coffee and hang. Mm-hmm. I think it's great atmosphere. It's, I know.
Under the age of 30, I'm looking for a beanbag. Over the age of 30, I'm fighting the Friends crew for the couch.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
fighting Chandler.
Chandler needs to
Get out of my
over.
seat, wimp. And then he would get out of my seat. Yeah,
Absolutely.
they had coffee, scones, muffins. You don't see much more than that. Do we think their menu had any more expansion to that, or do we think that was just it? Mostly a coffee bar.
I don't remember if it ever had any like lunch-ish items. I wasn't much of a Friends watcher. My wife is the Friends crazy. But
we watched it every week growing up at my house. But yeah, I think that it's primarily just your stereotypical coffee side things.
Mm-hmm. What about do we just want to do some quick ones, some rapid fire ones? Or do you guys got specific ones you want to talk about?
I don't have any more. So
I've got another one that I think is pretty iconic.
Okay.
I will say this: I had to look up the name because I never see anything other than just restaurant. But Tom's Restaurant from Seinfeld.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That they always go to. I mean, it's like they could have like food ready on the table and they're like, I'll go. It's just like, yep, I'll see that. Yep, we're going. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a diner sort of thing, which isn't my sweet spot as far as food goes, but like, I don't know. I have a serious case of like FOMO, fear of missing out, and like if everybody was going, I'm going. I'm not missing out. I mean, even if it's just egg salad sandwiches, it's like, no, they're going, I'm going.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't really recall them eating much. But George,
Yeah.
I think they would, because there was some
Yeah.
plot lines around like they messed up George's order or something.
Yeah.
Real place, by the way, at the corner of West 112th Street and Broadway in New York City.
I love it when they do that though. Like it's cool when they incorporate something like that.
Yeah. I would want to go there just because I figured I would see Kramer.
Yeah.
Kramer's my people.
He's awesome.
I like weirdos. I'm a weirdo guy.
He fits the bill.
What kind of menu do you think they're rocking there? Is this like a deli?
Like soups, sandwiches.
I was going to say, with it being New York, it's going to be more deli-ish than burgers and milkshakes.
I could see
for sure.
breakfast happening there.
Oh yeah,
Like
maybe. Yeah.
Didn't a time or two they have like oatmeal, or I mean it was kind of like dinerish breakfast stuff. You could go the full menu, or you could just have like a bowl of something.
New York's kind of strange to me in the
It
food
is.
place. So when I went to New York, yeah, there were a lot of delis, which were fine. I had some good sandwiches. Pizza was great.
Yeah.
And New York style pizza, like always huge. Like I bought a slice of pizza on the street
man.
that was like
sounds so
$1.50, and like you had to fold it to eat it, and it was one slice did me. I was full. It was great.
The Office, Michael Scott's favorite slice in the whole city.
Sabaro.
Sbarro.
I came to get me a New York slice.
New York slice. That's Sabaros.
That's fantastic.
Also, I went to there's a section there somewhere, and I can't remember if this is in Queens, but I went to Little Greece basically and got some gyros. Now
Yeah.
it looks like gyros, but I was told it's pronounced gyro,
Oh, okay.
and those were amazing.
Like Luke Bryan and Jimmy Fallon do a song about how to pronounce it, and there's
Yeah.
like 15 different pronunciations.
Yeah, well, and that's why I said it unsure, because I have heard people who I would
Gyro,
trust.
gyro, gyro,
Everything
gyro.
Everything I know about Greek culture, I learned from my big fat Greek wedding. So I just think Greek dads run around with bottles of Windex to spray on your owies to disinfect
Yeah.
cuts.
Yeah. Give me any word.
Yeah, I would totally eat at the Seinfeld deli though.
I would. Yeah.
What about Breaking Bad? Los Pollos Hermanos. Are you guys familiar with Breaking Bad?
I have never seen it.
I have seen the first 2 seasons and like stopped after that.
I was told it was kind of depressing. Like
well,
it was kind of
yeah,
a
I
downer,
mean-
so I never really gave it a whirl, but I'm
You
sorry.
should totally watch
My
Breaking Bad.
wife
It's really good.
like binged the whole series as it was on, and then rewatched it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, and I'm a big fan now of Better Call Saul. But Los Pollos Hermanos was basically a drug kingpin's cover for his illicit activities. It's his laundering point. It looks like KFC type joint. They got the chicken stuff. It always looked good to me, but you really can't. You had me at chicken, basically. There's Vesuvio's from The Sopranos, another famous one. Authentic Italian food with Tony and his goons.
I'd eat there.
Yeah, totally would eat there. And then I would pretend I was a mobster the whole time.
That food's got to be great. I mean, authentic Italian is, oh man.
What about the chocolate factory?
Yeah.
In Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That as a kid, totally.
I remember the original with like, Gene Wilder, and seeing, that scene when he's like, whipping the cane back and forth and then he finally lets them all go and you're like, everything they run to, I want to taste.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, what does that taste like?
Yeah, I'm much more into Gene Wilder's Chocolate Factory than Johnny Depp's. Johnny Depp especially as an adult, I'm just like, I don't want any part of that. Yeah. That looks weird.
Yeah.
I don't trust you, sir.
Yeah. Oh, so iconic to see him singing, but like drinking from the tulip, the teacup, and then he bites it. Like that's like a really iconic. You're just like, man, just everything's edible.
I like eatable. The idea of the environment being the restaurant type. This is not a restaurant; it's a candy factory. But I like. This is the kind of thing that made me fall in love with Casa Bonita's in Denver as a child, because it's like this environment, right? And that's like the feel of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's an environment, not more than a restaurant.
So I went to the one in Denver as well.
Casa Bonita's.
Yeah.
Which by all accounts, the food is trash. But as a kid, I didn't care.
So I was in high school and I'll agree. It was probably trash, but the atmosphere more than makes up for it. And it is featured in one TV show, South Park.
Yeah, they did an episode where it was a big deal.
Cartman is obsessed about getting to go to Casa Bonita.
I'm gonna tell you, as a young kid, I was too. I went there once on a vacation, and I thought about it for the rest of my childhood. They had cliff divers.
Yes,
cliff divers in the restaurant. They had little flags where if you didn't if you needed something from the waiter, you just put the flag up.
Yeah,
right. And then they knew to come by, and you could get more substandard Mexican food apparently. Or Tex-Mex, as it probably should.
There was one in Tulsa, I think, but it closed down many moons ago.
That's too bad.
There is a place. I feel like I don't know if it's Wichita or Kansas City that like that. There's like a little thing What's that? I can't even remember what that place is called.
So they've tried to copy this in recent years with like the tropical. Like the Dinosaur Cafe and that
tropical rainforest,
and it's just it's like too fake. Like the cool thing about Casa Bonita's is it wasn't too outlandish and cartoony. Like you walked into a cave basically, and then there was this waterfall, and then like cliff divers.
Yeah,
and by the way, here's some sopapillas.
Yeah,
all right, you had me at cliff divers.
Sopapillas is just
put that flag up and give me a burrito.
Yeah. Give me a burrito.
So I thought of one random one, and again, you guys haven't seen it.
Cody, classic.
Ramen Girl, starring Brittany Murphy. She opens her own ramen restaurant.
I mean, you're so fringy right now.
I am, but someone will be like, I remember when this was on Netflix in the early days of streaming.
A young adult Dave was in love with Brittany Murphy. I'd have been there. Because Brittany was there. Most people listening to this probably have no idea who Brittany Murphy is.
Yeah.
Actress died tragically.
Passed away. Yes.
Yeah. It was very sad.
Yeah.
Because she was just kind of starting to really blow up. Mm-hmm. She was in a movie with Ashton Kutcher when he was starting to get big, and then
she was in King of the Hill.
I can't even really recall the circumstances. I just know it was tragic.
Yeah.
I probably blocked it out because I was so devastated that I would not be, having my chance to fall in love with Brittany.
Yeah. If you like ramen and you like Brittany Murphy, I might recommend.
Have I got a show for you?
Now it's just weird because she's not here anymore.
That's right.
But yeah, okay. Was it a comedy? She was mostly in comedies.
No, this was more of a serious movie.
I'm not interested. Serious and an actress that's no longer with us anymore. It seems a little morbid.
And again, about making ramen.
About that ramen.
I do like ramen, and I mean real ramen, like that you get from a restaurant.
She was trying to learn how to become a world-renowned
and that's
ramen
before
chef.
the big ramen, explosion.
Yeah.
That movie was ahead of its time. Clearly,
It was.
What about Bluth's original frozen banana stand
Yes,
from Arrested Development?
Okay.
Can we talk about what it is they're exactly selling here?
The money's in the banana stand.
I know the money's in the banana stand, but what is it? What are they selling? Is it supposed to be like a play on Orange Julius? Is it like banana smoothies?
So they do have like a frozen chocolate covered banana.
That's what I assumed it was.
The George Daddy frozen banana dipped in chocolate placed between chocolate graham crackers.
I do not
and
like the
the
name
Job,
of that.
the G-O-B, frozen banana double dipped in chocolate with double nuts.
Oh my land!
That show is so hilarious.
Yikes.
The frozen. There is money in the banana stand. Oh, that was a fun show. Totally would go to the banana stand.
Yes.
But I'm really looking for a banana smoothie, if I'm being honest. That's what I want. A frozen banana. I'm good. I can do that at home.
I'm not down with bananas at all.
I'm not a huge banana guy, but just because of the show, I'd try it once.
My wife would not forgive me if I did not mention Luke's Diner from Gilmore Girls.
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say, are we going to mention the diner that Melissa McCarthy cooked at?
Well, which one is that? There's so many food places here. She rattled them off real quick. I told her she needed to be on the show.
She was at the bed and breakfast.
Oh, yes.
So Melissa McCarthy's at the bread and breakfast. Luke is the love interest of Lorelai Gilmore.
Yes.
He has a diner. My wife specifically mentioned one of the characters does like Big Al's pancakes or something. That's also prominent in an episode that was funny. And now I can't remember anything about it because I didn't watch Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
But
it kills me that I know stuff about this. Like my little sister used to watch it incessantly. Like I know more about Gilmore Girls than I probably should.
They talked so fast.
They did.
Yeah.
Well, they had quippy jokes through the whole thing. That show was goofy, man.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. I think I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'd go. I feel like Luke always had like some sort of different special or something.
Well, the whole town of Stars Hollow,
Yeah.
which is where it takes place from. This is my kind of spot. Quaint, vaguely northeastern. I'm feeling like Maine. This
yes.
place has got to be in Maine,
say,
right?
yeah,
I don't know what
I'm
state
pretty
it's in.
sure it is.
I've always wanted to live in Maine.
I thought maybe like Connecticut area.
It might be.
Is it in Connecticut? Well, somewhere in the northeast.
Yeah.
I don't
Clearly
know.
somewhere
Something.
there in the northeast. I'm here for that.
Baston.
I would eat there and I would live there.
Yes.
So, Bob's Cafe
Yeah.
from Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
Just because the specials of the day are so punny.
Honey. Yeah.
There was a guy playing at Comic-Con dressed as Bob from Bob's Burgers with his sign that had a pun on it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
All right. Let's
That's pretty classic.
okay. So
Oh, we forgot 90210.
the Peach Pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Peach Pit. Well, so
That one's
did you watch
iconic.
90210?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us a little bit about the Peach Pit. What are we looking at here? Because I wasn't a 90210 watcher. I
Okay,
know that's
so-
my
yeah.
age group, but
I was forced to. I will say this.
of course, sure.
I see how it is.
The babysitter
right.
during the summer watched 90210 and then soap operas.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I know the theme song.
So I mean, it's a typical diner, but again, younger crowd and richer crowd.
Is Beverly Hills 90210 just the young adult version of Saved by the Bell
Yes.
in every way?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Go on.
I think it's a possibility.
I feel like they had fancier shakes
Well, right. It's Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
They're not rocking Malibu like Saved by the Bell. Are you kidding me?
Orange mocha frappuccino.
Yes. So
I don't know where Saved by the Bell took place, but
wherever Bayside's at.
it's probably Malibu.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Go back to Malibu, deadbeat.
Yeah. I would say that.
All right, let's hit some fast style before we run out of time here.
this.
Movies from the Kevin Smith movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The movies, which is clearly modeled after McDonald's, featuring a golden calf. First appears in Dogma. It first appears in Dogma, which makes sense. It was a skewering of Christian of ideas and things, and so Movies first shows up in Dogma, and their mascot's a golden calf, but it's clearly a McDonald's vibe.
Yeah. Reference.
And then they, they work there. It's like literally Movies is literally the setting of Clerks 2.
It is.
I was going to say, I'm only a Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back guy. That's the only one I've seen.
Let's see. Let's also talk about, we mentioned Sopranos.
Hey, what about the Chinese restaurant from A Christmas Story? The Peking duck.
Oh, yeah. Totally would eat there.
Yeah.
On
Hands
Christmas,
down.
though, because I need the entertainment.
The spread alone looked like, bring that.
We would be remiss if we did not mention the 3 broomsticks from the Harry Potter series.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Getting some butter beer.
Yeah, to drink all the butter beer.
Yeah.
All of it.
Someone who's a Harry Potter person, tell me what butter beer is.
Is
Do we
it
know?
like, I mean, I've had it. I've had
look
it
this up.
at Universal Studios. I've had it there. I think I think some of it's butterscotch and
Yeah.
something else
Totally
combined.
need one of our fellow nerds, Rebecca Thomas. She would know without me having to look it up. Butterbeer is made with soda, sugar, heavy cream, butter, and a tinge of rum. Oh, they're adding the adult beverage in there.
So
They make a non-adult version of that as well.
yes, I had the
Sure you did.
spiked one.
This is why Christians don't like Harry Potter.
I mean, let's be fair.
I'm just messing with you.
like
Look,
Puritans.
a splash of, like we mentioned, the bourbon on
the vanilla
in the
milkshake.
vanilla
Yeah.
milkshake. Yeah, a splash of an adult beverage for some sort of flavor.
Right.
Clearly is fine.
I mean, I think you could agree if you watch any of those Harry Potter movies, throughout the movie, you'd take any one of the spreads that gets laid out the whole time. I mean, it
Like, I'd eat at Hogwarts.
all day.
Yeah.
What about the Mos Eisley Cantina from Star Wars?
That's a dangerous place.
It is a dangerous
You go there,
place.
it's only the worst of the worst in Mos Eisley Spaceport. You go there for the music, or to hire a bounty hunter, or to hire a smuggler.
Those are
but
the
not-
only reasons.
Don't go for the food.
Yeah.
That's not a good idea.
Han shot first. Yeah.
What about we talked about JJ's Diner. I'm looking at the list. Fratelli's from the Goonies. Wasn't really a restaurant, but they were pretending it
friend.
was.
I think more of a Baby Ruth when I'm thinking of Goonies.
They had ice cream.
Not really a restaurant.
That doesn't look like water. It's wet, isn't it? Drink it. And that was the lady. That was her voice.
Spot on.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The name of the place in Christmas Story was Bowling Chop Suey
There
Palace.
you go. Bowling.
Yeah. Okay. We haven't mentioned an
Sung
important
Ting
one even after our episode last week. Let's talk about Stan Mikita's Donuts from
Yeah.
Wayne's World.
Oh man.
First of all, go for Glenn.
Yeah.
Glenn looking into the camera and telling us, giving us some deep thought about crimes of passion.
I mean, I'll hit any donut shop.
I'm here
you kidding
for
me
it.
right now?
They for sure have coffee and crawlers.
Any donut.
And you can get them stat.
Let's go.
Would
we go-
totally go. By the way,
Let's just go after
is Stan Mikita's
right
a
now.
real place? Because if it is, I'm going.
Yeah.
Just to go because I love Wayne's World.
Yeah. That's worth a Google.
Yeah.
Were you guys Friday Night Lights watchers?
I was
No.
not.
The Alamo Freeze and Friday Night Lights was a place that some
I
of the
feel like
kids
people
worked there.
talked about Friday Night Lights all the time, and I just never
It's good
saw
show.
any of it.
Good show. You should watch it. Soul Food Cafe from the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Remember where Aretha Franklin was the waitress?
Yes.
Don't you blaspheme in here. Don't you blaspheme. I like that kind of place. And then she sings Respect.
Yeah.
Because her husband's going to leave and go back and join the Blues Brothers band. That's about it. I don't know if I got any more.
Well, we forgot the Home Alone pizza place.
Yes, Little Nero's.
Little Nero's.
Yes.
From Home Alone.
We had a serious discussion about this.
Yeah, we'll end up with this because this one's a little weird for me because we're in Chicago, but Little Nero's clearly looks New York style.
It's not
100%.
deep dish.
It's a thin pizza.
It's thin. It's big
floppy,
pieces,
which is like New York
Gotta
style.
Fold that thing.
Like what do we got going on here in Chicago?
Is there any way it was an Easter egg leading into Lost in New York?
No,
Like hinting, huh?
No, because it's prominent in the first one.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, I mean, the guy's constantly driving up, smashing the statue.
Yeah.
Every single time. Even gets shot at, fake shot at, freaks out in the snow. But yeah, like the fact that it's thin and it's like, I mean, that movie is so iconically Chicago. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of it is, heavily based on the fact that it's in Chicago. It seems like it went the wrong direction with the pizza. Or if or maybe they never even thought about it.
Maybe it is a New York style pizzeria in Chicago trying to hit that narrow market.
They're trying to be niche.
Yeah, get that niche
All right.
market.
Well, not everyone in Chicago maybe likes Chicago style pizza.
Yeah.
I don't like it when the sauce has like chunks of tomato, which is not uncommon in the deep dish style.
Yeah, it's very much we'd say like, yeah, it's almost like a ragu or something.
Yeah,
it's a
like-
lot heartier
Yeah.
on the deep dish.
I would eat it.
Oh yeah.
One cheese pizza all to myself.
Yeah.
The Tip Top Cafe from Groundhog Day. It seems like the kind of place I'd like to spend the same day over and over again.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I'd leave.
It's the small town diner. We've talked about that one a lot. McLaren's Pub from How I Met Your Mother.
That just feels like the hangout, man.
It's funny how we see the
just-
patterns too.
man.
We see the small town diners in
Yeah.
like some of these TV shows. Then in some of these sitcoms, you see like just the hangout spots.
Well, there's even episodes where they're like, let's go here tonight. And they're like, no.
No, we're going to McLaren's. McLaren's
That's where we always go.
Clearly a bar and grill. They've
Yeah.
got food.
Yeah.
They've got a bar. But it's clearly like a restaurant style first. They've got booths and tables.
Hey, there's big talk of nachos at that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got good. They've got good apps, and then they probably have happy hour apps, like the late night apps where they're half price.
I would
And
go.
let me tell you something, I'm here for half price apps.
The jukebox, man.
So, Patty's Pub from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they do have food. Doesn't look good, and knowing those guys that are running it,
No.
I wouldn't trust it. But
I don't know. That might be more the hangout than the food thing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we don't eat there.
Good stuff, you guys. Hey, listeners, tell us ones we missed. We know there's a ton of them. There's a lot of places for movies and TV shows that we couldn't cover them all, but reach out to us on Facebook when we post this on our Facebook page and Twitter, and comment below and say, hey, you missed this one. Tell us your favorite places, which ones you'd go to, which ones you agree with us on or disagree with us on. For Cody and myself, thank you so much for listening. Justin John, thank you for guest hosting as a geek of the round table.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, fellows.
Always ready for duty.
Licensed minister.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Geek of the round table with us here. As always, thank you so much to you for listening. You can help us out by subscribing to the podcast, and not just subscribing, but reviewing us wherever you're listening. There's some sort of reviewing thing that you can do. Give us the 5 stars on Spotify or Apple, and write a review if it's possible on your mode that you're listening to us on. That really helps us out and gets more people to listen. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.